Back once again. An interesting matchup here. Dong Hao Ma, he's had some exciting fights in the UFC. Just what did you make when they came to you with this matchup here?
Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
We're always looking ahead, but I was coming off a loss, so it was tough. But then when I started looking at him and looked back through his past fights and obviously remembered him, fight of the year a couple years ago, I was like, all right, this is an exciting style matchup. There's gonna be some highlight real stuff in here and some good exchanges and all that. So, I'm happy with it. I tried to hop on that Greenville card and short notice, but they couldn't find me an opponent. So they kind of came with this fight right after that. So I was just ready for whoever they gave me.
Yeah, were you trying to fill into a fight in Greenville, or were they considering just booking a fight for you on there? Or what was the deal there?
Originally I asked to be on the card so I could bring the baby to the fight. It's about a 2-hour drive from my house in Knoxville, Tennessee. So they originally said the card was full. Well, then about 4 weeks out, they said, "Hey man, we had a fight drop off. Do you want on?" I said, "Hell yeah, put me on there." Yeah. And so they tried to find an opponent. They went through 4 different guys and nobody stuck. And I even got on Twitter trying to find an opponent and just couldn't give me anybody. So, I was upset with that, but and obviously that was a couple months ago, we came with this fight, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, definitely. And looking back at the last one against Nick, what do you just feel went wrong for you in there? Obviously, we're doing great things going into there, and it just wasn't your night, I guess.
Yeah, man. You never know. I guess you do know, but you don't ever want to make excuses. But you got 15 minutes to perform. But I gave it away, man. That's a winnable fight. Should have won that. Big opportunity for my career, and kind of pissed it away. But what can you do, man? As we say in Tennessee, you just hop back on the horse and ride. So, it's a winnable fight for me. I belong up there. All I can do is look forward to the next one, and I'm excited, man. Any of my 3 losses, I've never been shut out. You know what I mean? I've never been just blown out of the water or totally outclassed. I've taken rounds. I've hurt all those guys. All 3 of those losses, they ended up at the hospital afterwards. So, I belong up here, man. I belong up there with that top echelon of guys. I still believe that. And I think with Nick, I think everybody knows if that fight goes, if there are 4 rounds, he looked like he'd been hit by a bus afterwards, and he didn't want any more. So he was hanging on, and where I come from, if you go to the hospital afterwards, the other guy won. So.
Right. Yeah, and when you look at that, you mentioned the 3 losses and how never been like a large gap. So when you look at what you need to do to be better in that sense, and maybe make those results go the other way, is it like a technical deficiency? Maybe just something not going perfectly right on the night. What do you kind of point to?
I think it's been a few things. There have been some technical deficiencies where you gotta remember these guys like Drew Dober, experienced veteran, dedicated his life to combat sports, lost to him. Josh Emmett, obviously college wrestler, on a big win lately. Nick Lentz, Division I wrestler. Me, I'm a baseball player and hockey, man. I'm just an athlete. I don't have any combat sports background. So, I lost some positions in those fights that ultimately lost me the fight. So that and maybe, sometimes I get carried away. I think the crowd knows that when I fight, I'm going to take some risks. I'm going to throw some big shots. I'm going to try to end the fight. And at any given moment I could. So sometimes that can lead to, me getting carried away. Sometimes I'm just a dog and I like to come forward. So sometimes got to rein myself in a little bit, and I think that's part of it.
Yeah, this game, it seems like in so many ways it's just about balance, because obviously, if you try to pull it back too much, then maybe you're not being who you really are and your best self as a fighter. So it's is there any way to go in there and actually know what the proper balance is, or do you just is that a really tough thing to figure out?
It's hard. I've been working hard at that the last couple years. A lot of visualization, and just because my mindset is, hey man, when the going gets tough, you go forward. You know what I mean? You don't back down, you don't back up. But that's not always the right thing to do. Sometimes, hey, you get hit in the face. Hey man, so what? You're supposed to get hit. you're not losing the fight. You got jabbed. It's 30 seconds into the fight. Don't get mad about it. That's swimmers get wet, fighters get hit. That's just what it is. So, hey, be nice and relaxed. Stick to the game plan. That's how we beat him. You know, I have a lot of tools. I'm a well-rounded guy. I'm just not a specialist anywhere. But the entire game and when I'm staying calm and composed, I can hang with anybody.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy that you're going to fight, you mentioned, fight of the year candidates and stuff he's involved in. It seemed like he's going to, maybe really force you to implement that balance, because he might give you a lot of opportunities to really go in there and, kind of do what you were mentioning earlier. So when you look at this fight, I mean, where do you feel like you hold the advantages, and where do you feel like, you're going to be able to execute best? Yeah,
I think I hold the advantage in just overall game. I think MMA, the entire game, and blending everything together, all the sports, I think I'm way better. Striking, he's super dangerous, man. You got to be careful. You've seen him; he's flatlined a few guys, and obviously he's not scared either. He'll stand in the pocket and throw, and it's impressive and it's fun, and he hits hard. So I think my pace and conditioning and overall just entire game, man, I got to put the whole game on him. Like I said, I'm not a specialist anywhere. I'm not a boxer, wrestler, kickboxer, anything. So where I'm best is when I mix it all together, and you never know what's coming from exchange to exchange. So that's what I'm going to do to him.
100%. You win this fight. I mean, what do you look out for the rest of the year that you'd like to accomplish or anything? Is there, is there any goals set for yourself beyond just winning this fight right now? Yeah,
the number one goal is win this fight and get my baby boy in the octagon. He's going to be in the crowd for the first time. So I'm super proud, man, and I feel some sort of superhuman power now that he's going to be in the octagon. I can't lose, or he's going to be in the arena. I can't lose. So that's my first goal. I'm getting him in that octagon. So I'm gonna win this fight and get him up there. And then I'd like to fight again before the end of the year. I still feel great, man. My body feels so good. I dedicate a lot of time to just feeling good, and I'm a true pro too. I do it. I eat right. I stay in shape. I take care of my body. So I'd like to get another one in before the end of the year. I'm not done yet. Even before that Nick Lentz fight, I'm like, hey, I want in that top 20. I want in that top 15. I want somebody up there. Yeah. And I still got it, man. I belong up there. So I'll take another fight at the end of the year, and hopefully with a new contract and all that. So.
Very nice. And you mentioned, just to follow up on that, you mentioned how you wanted to bring your son to Greenville, and that didn't materialize. So you're doing it here now. Why is that something that was so important to you?
I just want him to be a part of it, man. For me, I grew up without a real prominent father figure, no dad. My dad died when I was real young. So I think just being able to share it with him, because you never know how much time you have left in this game. So though he won't remember it, I still want him to be in those picks and know that, hey man, we still took you along and you were a part of it, and your dad tried his best to do something real special. And your dad also is just an athlete and hung in here with these top 0.0001% of best fighters in the world. Your dad was out here doing it. So there are some lessons to be learned from that, and I want him to be a part of it, man. It's special for me.